Hey guys, welcome back to Warhammer Weekend Times. I'm Stan, your host, and we're still continuing the tournament that is currently going on in the Call of Warhammer Steam group. And today we've got Doodlez playing as the cultists of Slannesh, and his opponent is going to be Xviper playing as the Woodelves. But let's go ahead and go over the armies and then start this battle up. But Xviper's got a couple of units of Glade Riders, and it does look like he's also got some Way Watchers, which are some, just some bowmen, kind of intermingled in between them. And then back behind them, he has some of these really good Treekin multi-HP units, have really strong attacks. So really great units to bring to the field. He's also got some Eternal Guard, whole line of those. In the back, he's also got some Wildwood Rangers, and I think his general is going to be right here. But yeah, just a huge line of Eternal Guard. It does look like he has some bowmen in here too, some Glade Guards. But I think that's it, just pretty much Eternal Guard and Glade Guard mixed up. I do think he has some War Dancers somewhere, but I think they're hidden, so I don't think you can see them. Over here, let's go ahead and go over Doodle's army. He has, on this flank anyway, a really kind of heavy cav wing. He's got 2 units of Chaos Knights and then some Chosen Knights of Slannesh, so very heavy elite cav over on this flank. He's also got a unit of Chaos Warriors and a unit of Chaos Warriors with halberds, and he has this kind of set up on the same, or on the other side, pretty much kind of this little kind of tiered units of heavy infantry, and then up in the front he's got 4 units of Ungors with spears, and back behind them he's got 3 units of Marauder Desolators, and then way back here he's got 2 units of Slannesh Chosen. But he really does have kind of a cohesive formation. He's got his meat shields up front to take up arrow fire, and maybe get rid of avoid cav charges. He has his Marauder Desolators up here to charge into the melee engagement once the Ungors are engaged. He's got his elite infantry back here and his elite units back kind of on his flanks, and then his cavalry to basically negate cav charges. He's also got 2 units of mounted demonettes over here, which are extremely powerful. They're extremely expensive too. He spent maybe a little more than a quarter of his army funds in just these 2 units. But those are the armies, guys. Let's go ahead and start this battle up. But Doodlez is going to go ahead and immediately start charging in his Ungors with spears and his Marauder Desolators. Over here, Xviper, I think they are getting in range, and he is starting to take shots at these units. He's going to want to get as many down as he can. I think if he focused on some of these Marauder Desolators, he might get some more kills. They are really, a lot, closer together. And they have almost no, they have no shield value, unlike the Ungors do with spears. And even though the Ungors and spears have such a low, defense value, having no shield value and being shot at is going to be a lot more devastating. Over here we can see the cav charging right in to some of these Glade Guard. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, these Glade Guard. And then over here, here are the War Dancers, and they're going to be charging in to try and stop some of these cavalry units. It does look like these Chaos Knights are going to be kind of charging past, but the War Dancers are going to be charging up. And look at these guys do their backflips. That's a really cool animation. And they're actually doing a really good job at picking off some of these Chaos Knights. Doodlez is going to be pulling his cav back, and it does look like he's going to be sending up his more heavy infantry and some of his Ungors. Oh yeah, these are his Ungors. I thought these were Xviper's units. Yeah, he's got his Ungors with spears up here, engaged, kind of holding back the Eternal Guard, because once they're engaged in melee, you kind of have to micro them again to push past that kind of loose formation. Over here, we do kind of see Xviper kind of pulling into a more cohesive line, and up come a lot of these really elite units. Xviper's going to be trying to tie them up with his Treekin. He's going to do a really good job at killing some of these Marauders, and some of these Slannesh Chosen are probably going to be falling to these Treekin as well, but they are going to probably get outnumbered. Actually, maybe not. It does look like most of the units have kind of engaged against these Eternal Guard, so that's going to be interesting. Usually the best way to deal with those high HP units is to outnumber them and stunlock them. But then Doodlez is going to leave his mounted demonettes in melee, and he does want. I mean, they're actually really good in melee. They're probably one of the best cav that you can engage and leave in melee. They've got really high attack with it, but their probably advantage, you know, biggest advantage lies in how quick they are, how quickly they can just charge in. Look at this, just charging into this almost full unit of oh my god, war dancers, and just destroying them almost entirely in that unit, taking them down to just only 24. The Xviper is going to try and retaliate though with some more War Dancers, and if he gets some recharges, yeah, usually recharges even on multi-HP units will take them down. I don't know if charge just ignores HP when you know charge from the back or not, or if those may have just been a little bit lower HP mounted demonettes at that point, but I really consistently see rear charges getting lots of kills, even on like large units like ogres. If you do a couple of rear cycle charges, you're bound to kill at least 2 or 3 ogres on each charge, even if they're like low charge units. So that's kind of interesting. But Xviper's going to be moving up his Eternal Guard to engage against these Chaos Knights. Going to do a pretty good amount of damage considering they are spearmen. But Chaos Knights are, you know, very, very strong cav unit, even in melee. The cav typically do pretty well in this mod when they're engaged in melee, but if we look over kind of bird's eye view, the units that Xviper has are really kind of starting to diminish. His flanks are kind of, you know, I mean, he's got some units here, and they are totally surrounded. There are some War Dancers trying to cut them out, but they're going to be having to fight against these Halberd units, which have a really long reach. If we go over here, there are some Internal Guard fighting, but they're getting cycle charged by some of these Chaos Knights. And there are some, I guess, Glade Guard over here fighting against some Chaos Warriors, but the Chaos Warriors are more likely than not going to win this engagement, considering that Glade Guard are really just a bow unit and not really made for melee. And there are some more Eternal Guard over here, but they're shaken, actually. And then the Eternal Guard over here, they're doing okay. But they are up against some Chaos Warriors with halberds and some Ungors with spears. I wonder why these units are shaken, though. It may just be because they're kind of surrounded and they're really low on number. That's probably why. But if we go back over here, it does look like Doodlez is going to be charging in some more of his Chaos Knights against these Glade Guard, and they're going to be trying to fire into the oncoming Chaos Knights, but it's not going to be enough, and they're going to just get run over by these Knights of Chaos. But the Eternal Guard are holding actually pretty good against these Marauders, though. The Marauders are shaken. I thought, yeah, wavering now, only 10 in the unit, and they're starting to tire. But there are all of these Chaos Warriors over here, very healthy unit, charging into these Eternal Guard, and up come the Mounted Demonettes, charging in. The charge bonus is not that high, but again, I think rear charges will kill units almost instantly. So he's going to actually get a really good amount of kills on that, but you can see some of those Mounted Demonettes dying in that charge as well. Those Eternal Guard are not wimps. But in come another charge and another charge, and just the cycle charging is really what's going to, I think, do Xviper in. He really doesn't have the maneuverability to take out these Mounted Demonettes, even if he was able to kill all of Slannesh's infantry. These Mounted Demonettes and the Chaos Knights would just be able to do cycle charge after cycle charge and just kill the rest of his infantry. But he's going to come in again and charge against these Eternal Guard, freeing up some more of these Chaos Warriors with halberds, taking them down from a fairly healthy unit down to very little, and that's going to really do a lot of damage to the morale. And he's just going to cycle charge from that blob of infantry to this one, and back and forth and back and forth. It's going to be very difficult for Xviper to have any hope of tying these cav down. It does look like in each charge, though, he's going to be losing some cav, but that is actually going to be the game, though. And that was a very good game to watch. I typically don't see Woodelves brought to the field very often. Their army roster is just very small right now, and it is going to be addressed in the next update or in the next content patch. It's going to be really cool to see them become more of a viable faction, because I think they've only got like maybe 12 units in the roster. I'm really not sure, so you don't have a lot of options, and typically whenever you play Woodelves, you kind of have to take the same army. Their cav's not very good. They have really good infantry. I would argue that their best, you know, capabilities right now are probably in siege defense. So, but let's take a look at Doodle's kills on his units, and he's got a crazy amount of kills with these mounted demonettes, 268 and then 272. So that's basically, if that rounds out to about 270 unit, and that's a lot of kills, guys. If you do the math, that's like, I don't know, like 540 kills, I think. Just doing the math off the top of my head. So if you look at, like, if he killed 1,200 units and these 2 units killed like 540, that's almost like half of his army's kills came from these 2 mounted demonette units. But so he invested about a quarter of his army into them and got in like almost half of his kills. So very good investment on that. His Chaos Knights got a lot of kills too, 163. The Chosen Knights of Slannesh got 64, not that great. 77 on his other Chaos unit. So a lot of his kills came from his cavalry. I think that was his biggest superiority right there, was having the mobility of heavy cav and those demonettes, and just slamming them repeatedly into his units. So Ungors with Spears actually getting a surprising amount of kills at 93, so that's kind of cool, because I don't think that Xviper brought any real weak units. So but that was the battle, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think I've only got one more battle from the first bracket left to upload, so that one's going to be coming soon. But anyway, guys, that was it, and I will see y'all next time.